What's going on, Goobers? I am bringing you a YouTube video with a Leatherface build. This is what I am running currently in the game. It's what I'm having the most fun with, and it seems to be one of the stronger ones. There's actually like two builds we're going to kind of talk about, the one I'm running and the other one I would suggest if for some reason you don't like this one. Starting off, no matter what you do on either build, you're going to get level 1 of the reduced overheat by excessive revving by 10%. For level 2, you're going to get the chainsaw can be used 20% more often before stalling. This is going to allow you to hit those overhead chainsaws into another M1 without overheating. And then finally, you're going to top that off with the instant chainsaw. This is just a game changer. It just speeds up the process no matter what situation you're in, if you do overheat at the start of the game or whatever may be the case, right? So that's what I recommend for his chainsaw. Now we're going to talk about the 3 perks. I am running Scout, which at level 3 is going to give me 50% more movement speed, but at the cost of 10% damage. However, we're going to make up for that a little bit, right? We're going to be running Violent, which is going to increase my damage by 20% when I have full blood. So we only get a 10% more damage here, but we're also 15% faster. To help with Violent, we're going to be running Surgical, which gives me 100% more blood when attacking victims. This pretty much makes it to where I am going to get more blood quicker. I'm going to fill up Violent. I'm going to be going faster. I'm going to be hitting harder. And those are the perks that I'm running. The only other option you really could do here, if you're not really worried about filling up Violent quickly, you could run Hysterical Strength, which you'll increase your damage by 20% more when you're below 15% stamina. Stamina does not matter on Leatherface at all. You don't need it. You don't need to put anything in endurance or anything like that. And when you run out of stamina on him, you can still rev your chainsaw and still sprint around while revving it. So you can't hold shift and not be revving if you're out of stamina, but you can still rev, and you're pretty much going to be doing that the whole match anyways. Not a whole lot of reason not to, unless you can't get a 99% hit on someone, right? Certain situations prevent that, right? Those are the perks that I recommend running. Again, I am more in favor of running Surgical because I like getting my blood faster. And then on top of that, we're gonna talk about the attribute points just briefly. So I put max savagery, more damage. You want to beat through their no cell and Anna's ability and whatnot. So more damage is great, but you definitely want the speed. You can do the full damage build that people talk about, but this is just way better. I then put my points into blood harvesting. I do that because I like having more blood pool in the chance that I do ever want to feed Grandpa. Again, if I do that, I'm sacrificing damage at the time, but sometimes you just need to get him to level 5 because that last victim is being a bit stealthy, right? So it is situational, but this gives you an opportunity to feed if need be when you want to, right? That talks about the stats and the perks. When it comes to Grandpa perks that you can run for his ability, Nobody Escapes Hell is super amazing to have. It's gonna make it that much harder for victims to escape. 100% recommend running this if none of your teammates are running it. Another good perk to do is Barge the Point for the family house. It's, that map specific. If someone's has Nobody Escapes Hell, you can run that on that map. Outside of that, it's preference. And in the reality, if you really want to be Sweat Lord, no one runs anything but Nobody Escapes Hell at that point. Now let's talk about the skill tree. So to get the perks that I have, Scout's gonna be guaranteed, and so is Surgical, but Violent and Hysterical Strength are 2 random perks. So this is the pathing that I end up taking to get it. And then the 2 random perks, you get 3 random perks in this line. This one, and this one are all random. So 2 out of the 3 random slots, you have to keep respecking until you get Violent. And if you want Hysterical Strength, then you'll have to get both of those, right? But preference on that one, again, I just prefer having Violent. It gets me more blood faster. So that talks about the Bubba build on that, and hopefully this helps you out with being able to spec him in the way that you want to, the perks, the attribute points, and his chainsaw ability and everything. And I'll talk more a little bit about what I would do in a match as well. Alright, now we're going to talk about things that you have to do as Bubba, right? While you're playing the match, when you first spawn in until the end of the match. So you spawn in, and your first goal is to start patrolling the basement doors while breaking any barricades that you come across, possibly be able to find someone and get that kill, right? Obviously, a great start is going to get someone killed, have those barricades broken before they can even get upstairs, but that's going to be a rare situation. So your main thing to do is patrol the basement doors, delay them as much as you can, break those barricades, keep them from getting up top, buy your team time to set up, be grampy, all that good stuff, right? But again, rare situation, so do the best that you can. When you start to see them go up top, you have to make that judgment call. Can you stay down below and chase other people, or is it better for you to steal up? Most of the time, I am just gonna go up top and start breaking the barricades and crawl spaces up there. To touch on that a little bit more, on certain maps, there are some priority things you have to break, like Family House, the second story barricade, and probably all the doors on the first story and second story if you get time to even do that. Just so that they can't stun you. That barricade stops them from being able to loop up there really well. And that's going to help you out a ton on the Family House. The only other barricades that you really have to deal with are maybe the one in the side garden, the one in the back area where the car battery is, and then I think there's one up front. No, it's not up front, that's the gap. That's really what you're gonna have to focus on the Family House, but again, most cases they're probably not gonna even get out that side unless they go out the window and hopefully hitchhike your trap set, or you have a Johnny player who has common sense. Now at the gas station, when you get up top, there are usually 3 barricades. There is one in the workshop, one outside of Grandpa's shack, and one on the side of the gas station house. So those are 3 barricades you have to worry about breaking. And then you have a crawl space on the shack, Grandpa's shack, that you should break, and a crawl space on the other side of the house where the gap is. Highly recommend breaking that crawl space when those are open as well. You do have 2 other barricades on the map that are going to be on Gen side and car battery side, which are useful in breaking if they make it that far out and you have the time to go deal with that. Now, our good old favorite Slaughterhouse. Slaughterhouse has 2 barricades up top. Both are going to be near Grandpa's shack. They spawn in a little bit multiple different places, but they're all going to be near there. There's also going to be 2 crawl spaces near shack that you need to break, especially if you have a good hitchhiker who wants to trap up the shack to where they just can't even get past without stepping into a trap or destroying it, right? So those 2 crawl spaces, one's going to be near the generator gate, and the other one is going to be in the shack itself, left to where Grandpa spawns inside of it. There are other barricades that you have to deal with, one in the generator, or I think there's actually like 2, one inside the generator building, one outside of it further out. Same thing with the slaughter side. If you get the time to, only go towards those if they make progress to that side, right? That's going to be the map specific stuff that you have to break. Again, I did talk about like doors. Doors are something you want to break if you start seeing a bunch of victims slamming things on people, and it just helps out your team a bit more. Again, if you have the time to. You're not going to break a door over chasing a Connie in any way, right? Now, your thing that you're going to be doing upstairs after things are broken, you're going to be patrolling the 4 doors or gates or a mixed match or whatever, right? You're going to be patrolling it, revving your chainsaw between 95 to 99%. The reason you're going to do this because it's going to give you the max damage knockdown hit whenever you do find someone, and you're going to be a very speedy boy, and stamina does not matter to Leatherface at all. While you're doing all this, make sure you're giving out good comms to be able to help your teammates, ask questions if you need to, and whatnot as well. Now, when it comes to feeding Grandpa, this is gonna be preference, really. I don't really tend to feed Grandpa unless I really have a reason to. If they're being very stealthy and slow gamers, and you can't really find them, then you feed Grandpa when you have the chance to. If it's the last victim alive and you have no idea where they are and you got full blood and that blood can give them a level 5, then you might as well at that point, because damage isn't gonna really matter. You just need to find them quicker. So feed them based off your preference, but that's typically when I would. Other things you need to do while you are patrolling and killing people is if the valve goes off, you're definitely gonna want to go over there as Leatherface. Most cases, someone's gonna try stabbing, you or your teammate. If two of you are there, great. They do the valve. You protect them with your 95 to 99% chainsaw rev. Be able to protect them as best as you can, knock them down and get the kill, right? If no one else goes, do your best. At that point, valve just kind of sucks to have to deal with, right? Now the fuse box, if that gets turned on, you better start revving and be a speedy little zoomy gremlin down to the basement to body block that door, because they cannot instantly turn it off. There is a time restraint on it. I don't know exactly what time is related to it or how much it takes or whatever, but you're gonna want to go body block that exit. Do what you can do. I don't know if they ever plan to change that. I'm kind of for them changing it if the valve or the fuse box gets changed in a little bit of ways too. So you're patrolling up there and they're not getting much done, and you see that movement and whatnot. Again, I've talked about this a little bit. You're going to want to be revving your chainsaw between 95 and 99%, because when you do that, you are gonna max hit a victim, which is gonna knock them down, and you can follow it up with another Rev M1 or multiple Rev M1s, depending on if that doesn't kill them, aka like Anna's ability or no cell. So that's what you're gonna want to do on that situation when you find someone. So hit anything that moves, and hopefully it's that beautiful Connie and she's out of the game after that, right? Speaking of Connie, we're gonna be talking about like some priority targets that you're gonna want to focus on. You see multiple people, and I'm gonna give you like the worst example, an Anna and a Connie. Do not go for the Anna, go for the Connie. Anna can negate a lot of damage with her ability. Chances are you will not kill her. But the beautiful redhead, on the other hand, definitely chase her any chance you get. Connie or Sunny, you still choose Connie. If there's someone else or two other people you run to, it don't matter really who you go for, because you can one-shot them. Leland can shoulder check you and still kind of survive it, so maybe not him over Anna, or not over Anna, over Julie or Sunny. So Connie, Julie, Sunny, definitely targets you want to go for. Connie before anyone, Anna being the last choice, because her abilities are going to stop it. That really sums up Leatherface. I definitely recommend checking out people that like play him, just kind of like get more perception of how like people play on certain maps. I by no means one trick Leatherface. I'm not horrible at him, but I'm not perfect either. So this is just useful advice that I have found to myself, or things that I have learned and or have watched and whatnot, and just wanted to compile it all for you guys. If you have any questions, drop a comment with whatever question you might have. You can stop by the stream as well, because I do stream up on Twitch. And make sure you like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. I'm going to be working on a lot more videos with other characters for both sides of the game as well. And I do have a TikTok where I do put tips on there on top of that. But thank you all for watching, and I hope that you have a great day.